On day 1, I spawned in as a lost soul. I was in the underworld, looking up to the Soul Lord himself.
I give you the powers of the Grim Reaper.
I was transformed from a lost soul into the Grim Reaper.
There is a war between life and death. You will be a valuable asset.
Okay, but why is there a war?
No questions.
The Soul Lord told me to collect a lot of souls before returning to him, and quickly sent me back to the overworld. I was in the middle of a village and had to collect one of the souls of my targets. I made my way through the village, terrifying everyone in sight. I screamed at them before making my way to the house of my target. A villager came out.
Grim Reaper!
Oh, no, you don't. I caught up to him and collected his soul. Being the Grim Reaper was awesome. I can't wait to see what other mischief I can get into. On day 2, I was flying across the world when I noticed a large city. I decided to see what was going on inside. I noticed that there was a ton of villagers and they were praising someone. Was this the king of their city? I made my way closer. Hey, buddy, who is that guy?
That's the savior of the city! Yeah!
He turned around and saw that I was the Grim Reaper. I quickly collected a soul to prevent the guards from being alerted. Unfortunately, though, the guards were already rushing at me. I felt power growing within me, and I released a spell that spawned a bunch of undead mobs in the city. Whoa, I could do that? The mobs started to fight with me against the guards, and some of them even began to run in terror. Ha ha, have fun with those guys. I flew off to find more souls. On day 3, I spotted a house in the middle of the forest and decided that I would go have some fun with it, and began to make some creepy sounds outside of the house, scaring the woman who lived inside. She ran out to see who was playing a trick on her, but was stunned to see me. I used my scythe to take her down and obtain her soul.
This is gonna be such a great place to live.
Whoa, was that a memory? Was that her memory? I realized I was also going to need a place to live in. I came across a graveyard with a large destroyed building attached to it. This is perfect. I flew down and saw there was already some kind of demon living there. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize this place is already taken.
How'd you find me, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. I just work for the Soul Lord.
The Soul Lord? You don't understand. You're on the wrong side of history.
He started to go crazy and began to attack me. Hey, wait, stop. I don't know what you're doing. But he wouldn't stop. I fought back against him using my scythe, and I had to take him down. Looks like I'm gonna have this base to myself then. On day 4, I wanted to make some repairs to the building, so I decided to head out into the world. As I was traveling, I saw a zombie was being harassed by a group of players. Hey, leave that guy alone. And the players were terrified of me, but decided to fight back against me. I was much more powerful than any mere player ever could be, so I took them down with ease. I asked the zombie his name, and he told me. Odd. Strange name for a zombie. But anyway, here's the coordinates of my base. If you want, you can head there tonight and be safe. I realized that I collected a ton of souls and decided it was a good time to go see the Soul Lord. I bet he'd be proud of me.
More souls, you pathetic weakling!
Oh, jeez. Okay. I thought I might have enough already. He said I had accomplished nothing and gave me a much harder target to acquire and then sent me off. I guess there's no pleasing this guy. On day 5, I traveled to the location that the Soul Lord gave me and realized it was another town. I was told to follow someone who would lead me to my target, but how was I going to be able to do that? I spotted a guard. Man, I wish I could just be him for a second or something, just as like a disguise. Suddenly, I felt my body begin to change. I crashed to the ground, and realized, wait a minute, am I the guard? Whoa, I'm able to disguise myself as other people. I followed the lead, who greeted me, and I only nodded to not reveal my true identity. I began to follow him until we arrived at his house. We went inside, and I spotted my target. The two of them had a conversation, and then the person I was following left.
What are you still doing here?
Oh, yeah, about that. I'm here to take your soul. I took out my scythe and took down the target.
You sure you want this?
I will do anything for the power.
Isn't that the savior of the kingdom from earlier? That seemed a little suspicious. Before I left, I decided to loot the chests and found a bunch of materials as well as a set of stone tools. Nice. This will do just fine. On day 6, Dodd was at my base and was standing in one of the corners, avoiding the sunlight. Oh, right. I had to repair more of this place so he wasn't so confined. I flew up to the roof and started to patch the holes with the blocks I found from the previous day.
Thank you so much.
You know what? It kind of felt good to help someone out, but I had bigger priorities. I head off back toward the Soul Lord.
I am slightly amused with your abilities.
This was the closest he had come to telling me a good job. I was starting to feel proud of my work until he told me to leave him.
I have much bigger things planned for the future.
Bigger things to plan? I wonder what he meant by that. On day 7, I was traveling the overworld when I spotted a pillager outpost. This is exactly what I'm looking for, and summoned some deadly creatures for them to fight against. Once all of them were weak, I started to collect their souls. I hope this would please the Demon Lord. Once I collected all of them, I realized, look, I gained another 20 hearts. I returned to my base to see how Dodd was getting along, and I noticed that he was trying to find a way to expand it. Looks like he wants more space. In time, okay? I promise. We'll work together on it. By the way, you're a zombie and all. Do you have any memories of who you were before? I explained to him that I'd been acquiring others' memories. I think, at least. Dodd told me that he couldn't remember anything from the time before he became a zombie, and then said,
Everyone in this world seems to hate me or want me dead, whether it's players, villagers, or the sun.
yeah, the sun kind of sucks. I told him it sounds like such a lonely life to live, though.
It was. I'm just glad to have a friend now.
I'm glad too. On day 8, I arrived at the Soul Lord, and he was confused to see I had returned so quickly. I started to boast to him about my abilities and powers. I'm ready for something more challenging, okay? Let me do something more substantial.
Is that so?
The Soul Lord summoned another demon in front of me, and it began to attack. He was incredibly powerful and was able to spawn witches himself. I did my best to fight back, but was overpowered quickly by the demon and his minions. Right when I thought it was going to be the end, the Soul Lord stopped him.
There is a bigger picture here that you are not seeing. I have a vision for this world, and you will find out in time.
He continued to explain that if I wasn't able to hold my ground against one of the demons, then I didn't stand a chance.
When you are ready, you will be given more. Until then, do as I say.
I was embarrassed, but deep down knew that maybe he was right. I quickly left his presence. On days 9 to 10, I returned to the overworld and was traveling back to my base when I spotted the man from day 2. I suddenly remembered I had seen him in the memory of the soul that I collected. He was traveling alone. I think it's best to follow him. As night fell, he arrived at a tavern and quickly rushed inside. I decided to disguise myself as a guard and went inside. I noticed that the man was giving a speech and started to say,
We fought valiantly, men. I am proud of each and every one of you.
Everyone began to cheer, but he quickly shushed them and reminded them that they had lost a general today.
I want one of their souls.
I turned and saw another guard was staring at me. The Soul Lord was communicating with me and commanded me to take one of the men's souls in the corner. Ugh, but I'm gonna get caught. Ugh, fine. I made my way over very stealthily, and when I was in distance, I used my sword the guard had to take him out and collected his soul. Why does he look so displeased? Was this the leader whose death they were mourning? Why do I recognize him? I can't think about this right now. I need to get out of here. I tried to sneak out of the tavern, but someone spotted me. Well, there goes that plan. I transformed back into the Grim Reaper, and everyone stood there in shock. Boo. The people ran all over the place, afraid of me. I think that's my cue to leave. I ran out of the tavern and headed back toward my base. As I entered it, I noticed that Dodd wasn't looking so great. What's wrong, buddy?
Man, I'm starving. Zombies gotta eat too.
Okay, I'll get you some food. Sheesh. I realized that I hadn't had to eat, but I guess he did. I went over to the fields and found some chickens grazing. Using some seeds, I lured the chickens back to the tavern and built a chicken pen for them.
Thanks, Fuzzo. Good looking out.
On days 13 to 14, I ventured into the world to find more souls to collect. As I was traveling, someone landed in front of me.
Your reign of terror ends now.
Who even are you? He didn't answer. They just rushed at me and delivered a powerful strike. Ouch! That hurt. I started to fight back against them using my scythe, but realized it wasn't very effective. I had to switch to my freshly obtained iron sword to fight back.
The angels will never let the darkness rise.
So that's who you guys are. You guys are angels. I was able to take them all down, but I was too close for comfort. Angels? Darkness? What did this mean? Oh man, I'm gonna have to talk to the Soul Lord about that. But first, I'm probably gonna need some upgrades. I set off to a nearby cave and began to search for them. After some time, I had enough iron to craft an iron set of tools. I was then going to use the remaining iron on armor when I heard,
That armor will do nothing to protect you. Take this.
Suddenly, a set of demonic armor appeared in front of me. Whoa, nice. I grabbed the armor and equipped it. Whoa, I feel stronger. I headed off to see the Soul Lord. On days 15 to 16, I returned to the underworld and met with the Soul Lord in his domain. So, when were you gonna tell me that I would have to deal with angels when I'm out and about?
Those goody two-shoes never cease to annoy me. We've been fighting each other for a millennium now.
Well, you could have warned me a little bit.
You need not worry about them. They will be taken care of soon enough.
Soon? The Soul Lord sent me off to meet with a demon named Dave. Okay. He wanted me to prepare for a new mission. So, why do you go by Dave?
Well, you see, my name is... But demons just call me Dave.
Oh, okay, Dave. I can see why. He told me that the Soul Lord wanted us to go retrieve a special item from a city. I wonder what this item is. On days 17 to 18, we arrived at the city, and I was shocked to see most of it was destroyed. What happened to this place? Dave told me that he'd been tearing the city apart, trying to find something for the Soul Lord. We started to search the ruins of the city, but I didn't even know what I was looking for. I asked Dave, "Hey, Dave, what am I supposed to find?"
Yeah, it's my mission for the Soul Lord, all right? Don't worry about it.
We continued to search when another demon showed up.
Dave, I told you to stay away.
The demon attacked us. Hey, we're on the same side. He summoned a group of blazes to fight with him. Dave and I started to fight back, but Dave was quickly outpowered and died. I had to do everything I could to stop the demon, summoning my own group of undead to fight with me. The battle was tough, but I was able to defeat them. When he died, he dropped a strange item, and when I picked it up, the world was totally changed to the underworld. Demons were running everywhere. I looked around, back in the normal world. What was that? Maybe a vision of the future? I decided not to dwell on it much longer, and I headed back home. When I returned, I noticed a farm had been built outside. Dodd, did you do this? He told me that when it was nighttime, he decided to go out and learn how to farm. Wow! To show my gratitude, I spent some of my own time to work on our house. I managed to patch up most of the holes and expanded it a little bit. Dodd was extremely happy. I could definitely get used to having someone like him around. It was a nice break from all the demons and monsters and yada yada. I said goodbye and headed off toward the underworld.
The Reaper helps the zombie. Curious.
On days 21 to 23, I arrived and approached the Soul Lord. I dropped him the item that I found in the city. Hey, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to save the other demon. I explained to him what happened.
How could you let this happen?
He was furious with me for my shortcomings and said that I had to be punished for it. Instantly, I lost 5 of my hearts. Ow, I felt much weaker too. Wow, this guy seriously is never happy. I asked him about the visions or memories I've been receiving and asked what they meant.
I have no time for you now. Go and make up for your mistakes.
I was transported to a village and knew what I had to do. I was starting to grow tired of this because I wasn't sure what these people had done. I tried to summon my army of the dead, but I was unable to. The Soul Lord must have removed one of my abilities. I had to use my scythe and went around collecting the souls of the villagers. He looks like the man that I saw in the tavern. Huh. On days 24 to 26, I wanted questions on who this person was, but I wasn't sure who to turn to. I knew the Soul Lord would never answer these questions. I decided to head back toward my base, but when I was traveling, I noticed the savior of the city. Before I was able to ask him anything, he began to yell at me.
You killed one of my men! Stay away from us and never return!
Why? Why aren't you afraid of me? He responded that he looked death in the face every day. The Grim Reaper would never bother him. Who is this guy? Who was that other man that you were talking about at your meeting? I've seen him several times.
How do you know of this man?
I can tell. I clearly struck a nerve with him, and he told me to never come near him or any of his men again. The man stormed off. Man, I really wanted to collect his soul. He was clearly hiding something, but I wasn't sure what. I continued my journey toward my base. On days 27 to 29, I arrived. As I arrived, I can feel something wasn't right. I entered my home and noticed that there were angels here. I prepared myself for a fight, but then noticed one of them had died. The angel told me he was going to force him into the sunlight if I chose to fight.
Whoa, let's not do anything crazy here, guys.
I was definitely not willing to risk his life to defeat them. The angel demanded we come with her now. I had no choice but to listen to her, and she escorted me off. We arrived at a strange place in the middle of the sky, and the angel escorted me into a garden where I presented to another angel.
I see you've been sheltering a zombie.
Yeah, and what's the issue with that, huh? Didn't know it was a crime. The angel said that he had never seen any demon that was willing to help out another creature in this world.
It almost appears as though you've retained a portion of who you were before death.
I told him about my visions of this man, but he said he was unable to decipher what they meant. I was tired of this and prepared to leave, but he told me that I wasn't going anywhere. The angel threw down some kind of potion at me. I began to feel extremely weak before I passed out. Oh man, I woke up and found myself inside of a prison and saw that Jacob was standing outside of it. Hey, let me out of here.
I'm sorry, but you're a danger to my people, so it's best if you stay here.
No, you can't do this. Suddenly, there was an explosion and the Soul Lord appeared. He immediately destroyed my cell.
Come, Fozo, we're leaving.
Peter, do you really think I'll let you leave that easily?
The two of them started to fight each other, giving neither any leverage. I tried to jump in, but the Soul Lord told me to stay back. The Soul Lord was able to knock out Jacob, and we made a run for it back to the underworld. We returned to his domain. I'm sorry, but I've got to ask. Your name's Peter?
Yeah, I'm Peter Devilson. What's it to you?
Nothing. It just caught me off guard. All of this is making me really think. Who was I before I became the Grim Reaper? The Soul Lord's got a name, but what's mine? I urged the Soul Lord to help, and he was very annoyed.
Fine. If you collect this man's soul, you'll know who you once were.
The Soul Lord gave me the location of his soul and told me afterwards that I would be ready for a bigger role in this war. On days 33 to 35, I traveled to the area that the Soul Lord had told me about. I began to search the island for the soul I was supposed to collect, but the foliage was too thick for me to see from the sky. I landed and began to search on foot. I started to hear rustling coming from the trees and around me when... Cha! I knew you would come for me! I turned and saw a man running between the trees, and he was running away from me. I chased after him. Hey man, I only want to talk. I came up to him. Can you please stop running? But he turned to me and began to fight back against me. I had no choice but to defend myself and take his soul. Tyler, we did it. We saved the city. It's a glorious day for all of us.
What are you doing here?
I'll do anything. Don't hurt me.
Then you are banished from this land forever.
Tyler killed me? But why? Why would he do that? After everything we've been through. And I was a knight. I saved people. I love people. Is this why I felt so bad about taking people's souls? I returned to my base, and Dodd could tell that I was not 100%. He approached me to see how I was doing.
What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I did see a ghost, Dodd. My ghost. I explained to Dodd about my past and how Tyler wasn't the hero we all thought he was.
But why would he kill you? There has to be a reason why.
I don't know why, but whatever the case, I need to go see him. On days 39 to 41, I flew directly to the tavern. I needed to confront Tyler.
Tyler, where are you?
He slowly exited the building, and I can tell he was very nervous to see me. I would be too.
How do you know my name?
I know more than that. You killed me, and look what I've been turned into.
Wait, Fozo, you weren't supposed to find out.
I saw him trembling in fear. Why? Why would you betray me like that? He started to say that we were fighting a losing effort, and there was no reason to fight on. Ugh, I was mad to hear what he had to say. I watched us win a battle before you killed me. That doesn't make any sense. While I was in thought, Tyler charged at me with the same dagger he used before, and I took his soul.
So, he will have no memory if I defeat him with this?
He will remember nothing. Now get me a new Reaper.
On days 42 to 44, I rushed to the underworld to confront the Soul Lord. You tricked me. You had me killed to do your bidding.
What is this nonsense you speak of?
I explained everything that I learned to him. I need reasons now. The Soul Lord admitted that he lied, but because he knew I would never work for him if he told me the truth. Yeah, no kidding.
You're either with me or against me.
I guess I'm against you, because I will never work for you. The Soul Lord was furious, and he began to fly at me, trying to grab me. I tried to fight back against him, but I barely hurt him at all with everything I had. He hit me, and it took away most of my hearts.
I will destroy you.
I flew out of the underworld as fast as I could and headed toward my base. I met up with Dodd to discuss my encounter with the Soul Lord.
I can't believe you trusted a guy like the Soul Lord.
Yeah, me neither. Dodd came up with an idea. He said that I should go see what the angels are up to and maybe go talk to them. Yeah, those guys hate the Soul Lord too. If I help them, we can get rid of him. Seems like he's up to no good either way.
Please, I don't want to go back in there. I'll do anything.
Anything, you say?
What is your bidding?
How do you feel about revenge?
On days 48 to 50, I called out for the angels to speak with me, but I heard no response from them. Of course, when I actually want to find these guys, they don't show up. How was I going to get in contact with them? There were screams in the distance, so I flew off to see what was happening. When I got there, I saw a demon was harassing some villagers. I started to fight back against the demon, preventing him from harming them.
What are you doing?
I continued to attack him and eventually took him down. I told the villagers that they were free to leave, but they didn't thank me. The villagers screamed in terror, assuming that I was gonna kill them as well.
Death! Very impressive.
An angel landed in front of me.
You are coming with me.
On days 51 to 53, the angel led me back toward their base and presented me in front of their head angel, Jacob.
What do you want?
I caught Jacob up on everything with my memory. Listen, man, I'm not proud of who I was. I'm not working for the Soul Lord anymore. Jacob was not convinced at all. It looked like he was about to charge at me until...
Sir, I witnessed him saving villagers from another demon. I think he's telling the truth.
Interesting.
I can tell that this guy was still very unsure if what I was saying was true, but it seemed as though he was willing to trust me for now. Jacob explained that many angels had tried to defeat a very powerful demon that lived close by to my base.
If you defeat him, I might believe your story.
Great. I'll be back after I'm done. On days 54 to 56, I finally arrived at the forest where this so-called demon is supposed to be. Now, where is that? It jumped out and surprised me.
What are you doing in my forest?
Wait. I come in peace. I was sent by the Soul Lord. I need to retrieve the angel that you captured. After one good look at his face, I can tell that he fell for my lie and took me inside of his lair. Inside, the angel was trapped inside of a cage. I tried to sneak attack the demon, but he easily dodged it.
I knew you were lying. Now, I'll feast upon you.
I battled with the demon, and this dude was no joke. I had to keep pushing forward, though, and I finally defeated him and freed the angel from his cage. Thanks, man. No problem. Now go back to the head angel. I'll meet you there. On days 57 to 59, as the angel and I were leaving the lair, standing before us was a grotesque insect-looking demon.
Hello, Fozo. Do you like what I have become?
Wait, Tyler? How are you alive? Tyler summoned a group of insects, and they began to fight me. They rushed at me. Angel, fly away now. I'll fight him. It was clear that he was given powers by the Soul Lord after his death. There was no way that I was going to be able to take him on now. I was starting to feel weak and had to flee the fight, so I flew off. And to my surprise, Tyler didn't chase after me. When I arrived home, I noticed that Dodd had completed the base. Whoa.
I finished this as a thank you for all your help.
I was really grateful to have such a good friend.
Exactly what the Lord requested.
On days 60 to 62, I had recovered from my injuries, and I knew that I had to warn the head angel that the Soul Lord had summoned a monster to work with him. Yeah, this new monster is some serious jerk. He was already dangerous when he was alive. I don't know what he's going to be capable of as a demon. The head angel looked very worried. Anytime the Soul Lord summoned a new demon, it was always more powerful than the last. I remember the vision that I had when I picked up the item from that demon all those days ago, and I explained it to him.
Oh, so he's planning to open a portal from the underworld to the overworld.
He then dropped me a massive golden sword and said the angels have used this sword against demons for a long time. Jacob told me that the blade had been infused with old magic that made it more effective against these demons. Thanks for the sword, but what I want deep down is I want to become human again. I don't know if I want to be this Grim Reaper for all my life.
If you help us, I think I can make that work.
Thanks, Jacob. Let's go stop this Soul Lord together. On days 63 to 65, I was flying to the locations that Jacob had given me. It seemed strange to help people instead of taking their souls. I flew to one village that was being plagued by demons and fought all of them off for the villagers. The villagers yet again just ran away terrified of me. Man, I wonder why I want to become human again. I then traveled to a village where the villagers were starving and helped expand their farm for them. The villagers looked at me strangely. At one village, I'd even helped a cat out of a tree. What kind of tasks are these? I kept watching at yet another town and scared off pillagers that were approaching it. All the villagers remained in their houses, terrified of me. Why do I even want to keep helping these guys if all they see me as is a monster? After one last fight with a swarm of demons, I saved one of the last villages. I was preparing to leave, but one of the villagers approached me. Hey, thank you, Scary Beast. It actually felt really good. I was finally getting appreciated for my acts of kindness. Just, don't kill me, please. Okay.
Fozo is creating far more problems.
There is nothing.
I am the Soul Lord. I give the orders around here. Work faster and get out of my sight.
On days 66 to 68, I arrived at my base and was exhausted from all the work that I had done. Dodd approached me and asked,
What's wrong, Fozo? You seem down.
I explained to Dodd that it just felt like I traded one commander for another, and I was just a pawn in this fight again.
You now fight for the good side, though. You should see the positive in all of this.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I should be happy. Thank you, Dodd. I really appreciate it. As I was flying to his base, I was struck with something and crash landed. Ouch! What was that?
You've caused some serious trouble, Fozo.
Before I knew it, Tyler used some power to change time to night. I took out my newly acquired sword and started to attack him. I could tell that I was seriously starting to hurt him, but he was still very powerful.
You will pay for what you have done.
He lunged at me, and I began to feel weak. I was starting to lose consciousness when suddenly there was a bright flash and I saw Jacob appear in the light. I woke up in the garden with the head angel standing right in front of me. He told me that he had come to my aid, seeing that I was in grave danger. Thank you for your help. I mean,
We have much bigger issues than your old friend.
Jacob told me that he has figured out exactly what the Soul Lord is doing and that he is very close to having everything that he needs.
Soon he'll have everything he needs to open the portal between the two worlds. Demons will pour out from the underworld and attack anything living that's on the overworld.
He told me that I have to do this on my own because he couldn't interfere. You can't interfere? What do you mean? You're the head angel. If I'm gonna do this for you, I want you to turn me back into a human. Now. I'm sick and tired of being in this form. He once again told me that if I completed this, then he would consider it. Consider? What do you mean? You keep saying that. You know the amount of tasks that I've done for you? Ugh, I was tired of taking orders from everyone with nothing in return. Let the world be destroyed then. Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm already dead. On days 72 to 74, I returned to my base, still frustrated. I started a vent the previous day to Dodd and explained how frustrated and angry I was. Let the demons take over the world. What do I care? I'll be fine. And you know what? It might actually be better for me.
Well, you'll be okay, but I won't.
What do you mean you won't? You're a zombie. You're already dead.
You are a part of the dead, so the demons won't bother you if you stay low and out of their way. Unfortunately for me, I'm undead. I don't fit in the world of the living nor the world of the dead. If the demons take over, it'll be nothing but more pain and suffering for me.
I looked at him, shocked by his words. Was this true? If the demons took over, would my only friend in the world suffer more than he already has? How selfish of me. You know what? Everyone should be saved. Can't believe I just only thought about me. I apologized to Dodd for my careless thoughts and told him that I would make it right. I needed to go talk to Jacob though, right now. On days 75 to 77, I was flying toward the Angel's base. When I arrived, I found the base was under siege from demons. How was this possible? I used the sword that I was given to fight my way through them in search of the head angel. Eventually, I found him being attacked. I rushed in to aid him. I was able to defeat the demons, but he was badly injured.
This is just a mere preview of the world to come if the Soul Lord fulfills his plans.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I left. I should have been here. I should have helped.
You can choose to fight back, or you can choose to live your life as a coward and watch the world burn. The choice is yours, Fozo.
Wait, but Jacob! Before I can say anything else, he dropped something in front of me.
This will make you human again. Take it if you wish.
Jacob died from his injuries. I need to make this right. I need to. On days 78 to 80, I returned to the base with the cure in my hand. I contemplated if I should take it for a while. Man, what's the right thing to do? There's no way that I would be able to defeat this Soul Lord if I gave up my Grim Reaper powers. But at the same time, all that I want is to be human. I have to do what's right. I have to. I left the cure in my chest. I knew exactly what I had to do, and I was going to accomplish it. I flew off toward the underworld. Before I arrived, I disguised myself as Tyler's new demon form. I think it's time to confront the Soul Lord.
I have been waiting for you.
I apologized for my late arrival, and I asked, "Hey, Soul Lord, what do you need me to do for you?" The Soul Lord explained that the final piece to open the portal was located in a snow biome at an old ice temple. Ice temple, huh? I nodded at him and headed off as fast as I could. I needed to recover the piece before Tyler showed up and found its location.
I thought I sent you away. Why have you returned?
Returned?
On days 81 to 85, I arrived at the Ice Temple and quickly made my way inside. As I was making my way through the temple, I felt like something was watching me. Out of nowhere, a group of giant skeletons started to attack. They were slow, but they packed a punch with their hits. Lucky for me, my sword was as effective on them as it was on the demons. I was able to fight my way through all of them and their ghosts with ease. I made my way deeper into the temple. When I spotted it, the item looked just like the one I had retrieved from the demon days ago. I was about to grab it when
That was a pretty cool trick you did there, Fozo.
Tyler showed up, and he reanimated all the skeletons that I'd slain earlier, except they were much larger now. The horde of skeletons started to attack me, while Tyler went and grabbed the item before joining the fight. I was significantly outmatched. I thought it was going to be the end for me when I remembered Dodd and what I was fighting for. I mustered up the courage and was able to fly past all of them out of the temple. I returned to my base, feeling like a total failure. Couldn't even stop Tyler. How am I gonna stop the Soul Lord? The world felt like it was doomed because I wasn't strong enough to stop them.
You're not a failure, Fozo. You did your best.
Dodd told me that just because I had been turned into this monster, it didn't define who I was or what I was. Thanks, Dodd. That means a lot. Appreciate your support throughout this entire journey. I want you to have this.
But that was for you. I could never accept it.
I don't care, Dodd. You deserve this way more than me. He reluctantly took the potion. There was a flash of light, and Dodd was transformed from a zombie back into a human. It worked. He looked around and thanked me for my generosity. Dodd had regained all of his memories and said,
Before I was a zombie, I was a scientist. I wonder if there's something I can create that can help us in this battle.
On days 91 to 94, I was woken up to the sounds of explosions coming from outside my base. I rushed out and saw Tyler was there, and he was destroying everything.
This ends now, Fozo. The world is doomed because of your failures.
I rushed to defend my home and started to fight back against him. He summoned swarms of insects to attack me, but they were no match for me. Tyler, however, was still more powerful than I was, and his attacks were seriously hurting me.
Give up, Fozo. You can't win.
And I was starting to feel so weak. Dodd ran out of the base and threw a potion at me. Tyler turned his attention to him when I suddenly felt a surge of power. I realized I was back to full health and I had 30 hearts.
How is this possible?
I lunged at him and delivered another hit, defeating him. Thanks, Dodd. Man, that was a close one. I don't think I could have done that without you. There was a loud, crackling noise coming from the ground. Dodd, run inside. I looked around and noticed a swarm of demons were flying towards us. There was a large boom, and next thing I knew, the world was changed. Everywhere I looked, it appeared to be the underworld. The Soul Lord, he must have opened the portal. No! Suddenly, though, I heard a voice coming from the sky.
You can still make this right, Fozo. You must defeat the Soul Lord and replace him.
Wait, what do you mean? Replace him?
Those who pass in the overworld need compassion and guidance. Be their savior.
I knew what I had to do, and I rushed off to find the Soul Lord. As I traveled this demonic world, I felt myself fighting through swarms of demons. With the potion Dodd had given me, I was far more powerful than any of them, and easily defeated all of them. Finally, I spotted him upon a large mountain. I rushed toward it, not knowing I was going to be able to defeat him. It was day 100, and I found myself back where everything had started, standing in front of the Soul Lord. This time, however, I was no longer a lost soul, but someone who knew exactly who he was. This ends now.
No, this is only the beginning. Once I defeat you, I think I will pay your pathetic zombie friend a visit.
I rushed at him and charged him with my sword, but was quickly sent back down to the ground. Ugh, man, this guy was the strongest guy I've ever fought in my life. I continued to rush him and use my speed to my advantage, but the Soul Lord always appeared to be one step ahead of me.
You and this pathetic world will crumble beneath my terror.
I was feeling weak and wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to make it. I started to think back to what I was fighting for.
You can choose to fight back, or you can choose to live your life as a coward.
I am so happy to have someone as strong as you around.
I wasn't going to give up now. I rushed at him again, evading his attacks, and struck him with my sword, badly injuring him. You will never rule this world while I am still here. I continue to slash at him, weakening him more and more.
This is not how it's supposed to end.
This is exactly how it ends. I plunged my sword into him, defeating him for good. The world was restored, and I took my place in the underworld as the new Soul Lord. On day 1, I spawned in a large fire temple. Standing before me was a large god. Who are you?
I grant you the powers of the fire god.
I was transformed into a fire god. Whoa.
The world is in grave danger by powerful dragons. You have to help the people of Earth and stop them.
Powerful dragons? There was a rumbling, and a massive black dragon landed on the structure.
The reign of the fire gods is over.
The dragon blasted the other god with his breath, causing him to fall to the ground.
Bozo, you are our only hope.
The dragon turned its attention to me, and I was scared. I shot a fireball at it, but it only made him mad.
Time to take out the last one.
I started to run down the steps with the dragon chasing after me. As I was running, the dragon hit me with another attack, sending me flying off the temple. On day 2, I crash landed into a large city. I felt a weird sensation, and wings popped out of my back. Where did these things come from? I needed to go back home and help the god. Sadly, it was too late. All I could do was watch as my home blew up. Why was this happening? I tried flying with my wings, but it was no use. I crash landed to the ground. I guess I could only fly a little bit with these things for now. Suddenly, it started to get really cold. I turned, and an ice dragon flew in. Oh no.
Hey, you're a fire god. Zatharus will be pleased when I take you out.
Zotharus? Was he referring to the large dragon I saw? The dragon tried to attack me. Get away from me! I tried to hit him with my firebolt ability, but I missed him and hit one of the houses. Oh no! The building started to burn, and I can see villagers starting to yell at me. Oh no, I need to get away from here. So I ran out of the city.
Where do you think you're going?
The ice dragon chased after me and shot an ice blast at me. I dodged his attacks and managed to lose him in the forest. Phew, that was a close one. I really need to figure out my powers. On day 3, I was roaming in the world. I came across a frozen over village. I entered it and began to look for any answers as to why this village was freezing. A villager approached me and started to scream, talking about my wings. What's wrong? A god hasn't been seen here in a long time. You must leave now. The villager told me that they didn't want any of the gods around, especially after the dragon started to take over. I just want to help you. Just give me a chance. It was no use. They kicked me out of the village. As I was walking out, a group of pillagers came to raid it. They started to attack me, and I fought them off. I was afraid to use my abilities because of the damage I just caused, but I had no choice. I was able to light them on fire and take them all down. Once they were defeated, I noticed that they dropped food. I realized that I was starving and quickly ate some. When I ate it, I acquired another 5 hearts, and I felt so much weaker. Why do I feel weaker?
Sir, one of the gods is alive.
Impossible.
On day 4, I found myself inside of a strange place.
You are in the realm of the gods.
I turned around and saw the god was there. I was so glad to see him again, but I thought you had been defeated.
I was Fozo, but I am not gone. The name's Ogun.
I was disheartened with Ogun's news, but I asked him what was going on. He told me that...
You must stop the dragons and restore balance to the world.
But how, Ogun? I don't know what to do. He told me that I needed to make the people believe in the fire god again. I don't know if that's possible. The people hate us. Ogun told me not to worry, because they would come around eventually. He then came up to me and gave me something. Suddenly, I felt stronger and more in tune with my fire abilities.
Learn to control your powers and keep getting stronger. I know you'll be able to save this world. Until we meet again, Bozo.
Wait, don't leave yet. I can't do this alone. Ugh, I woke up in a house inside of a village? What happened? I brought you back to the village. I saw a villager, and he told me that he saw me defend the village from the pillagers. He wanted to show me his appreciation. That's a nice change of pace. I thanked the villager and headed out into the iced over village. I felt the urge to see what Ogun had given me. Whoa! It started to melt all the ice and and snow around me. I went around the village, freeing all of it from the ice and snow before a group of villagers gathered around me.
Thank you for what you have done, but get out!
Get out? The villager who brought me in came over and defended me. He expressed that I was trying my best and we should be more appreciative. Reluctantly, the villagers decided to let me stay in one of the houses. Nice. I went to the house and began to search it. I found a set of stone tools inside. It felt good that I was making strides with some of the villagers. On day 6, I ventured around the village and tried to get some more information about the dragon and gods. The villagers told me to leave them alone and to move away from me. You know what? Fine, I will. I left and went to find answers myself. As I made my way through the hills, I heard a scream and went to see what was going on. I ran up and found a little monster being attacked by dragons.
Ah, somebody help me!
Hey, leave them alone! I confronted the dragons and noticed that they weren't as big as the ice dragon. Maybe I could take these guys down. I used a fireball on the dragons and was able to stun it. Good. The power boost that Ogun gave me was working as well. The dragons attacked me and took away some of my hearts. I knew this wasn't going to be easy, but I needed to save this monster and use more firebolts on them. Finally, I was able to defeat them.
Thanks for your help. I really appreciate it. Name's Vulcan, by the way.
Vulcan recognized that I was a fire god and said he didn't know any of them were left. I began to ask Vulcan where he came from, and he told me about a large volcano that some of the gods used to call a home. I thanked him for the information and told him he can go back to my base where no dragons would harm him. On day 7, I arrived at the massive volcano that Vulcan must have come from. I entered it and found myself in a strange-looking room filled with chests. I began to look through the chests. I found more food, as well as a journal of some kind. It was from another fire god. I began to read it. The fire god stated that they held the balance of the world for the villagers. As time went on, more fire gods died to the dragons, and people began to feel as though the fire gods had abandoned them, since dragons started to destroy their homes and claim their land. The fire god stated that before he passed, he left behind his sword in case another fire god may need it one day. Fire sword? I walked upstairs and saw on a pedestal a fiery-looking sword. This must be it. My celebration, though, was cut short as I heard rumblings and strange creatures started to attack me. I began to fight back against them using my fire abilities and my newly acquired sword. It was still a good fight, but it was a lot easier. And just like that, I was able to defeat them. Great. Now I think it's time to head home. I made my way down the mountain, and suddenly a dragon flew up on me.
I finally found you, little fire god.
Memories of my home being destroyed flooded my mind, and I immediately recognized this monster. So, you're Zotharus. You destroyed my home and defeated Ogun. Why?
Because this world does not need fire gods like you.
He told me that once he destroyed me, dragons will be the strongest creatures and rule the world. Yeah, like I'm gonna let that happen. I shot Zotharus with my firebolt, but it didn't even scratch him. Zotharus knocked me back, and I lost 5 hearts. This guy is so strong. I won't let you take over this world. I used my new sword on Zotharus, but it seemed to not bother him at all. It was useless, and he blasted me to the ground. I only had 5 hearts left. I needed to escape. I dodged his next blast and ran away from Zotharus.
Run all you want. I will find you again.
On days 9 to 10, I arrived back at the village. I wanted to rest, but I noticed the villagers were harassing Vulcan.
What are you, huh? Some kind of stupid lava creeper thing, you stupid lava?
Hey, leave him alone. He needs a place to stay too, you know. The villagers told me that I was lucky that they were even letting me stay here.
If he's gonna stay, you better start doing some stuff for us around here, you know?
Jeez, these guys really do hate me. I decided it was best to help them out. I started by expanding their farm so everyone would have more than enough food. Once that was complete, I worked on a house next to mine for Vulcan to stay in. He was super appreciative of me for sticking up for him.
Thanks, Fozo. There's not been a lot of joy in the world since the dragons took over.
I really need to work on a way to bring these guys down. It was getting late though, so I turned in for the night.
Altan, come here.
What is your bidding?
I want you to hunt down this fire god and destroy him.
As you wish.
On days 11 to 12, I woke up from my nap and explored the village. I asked the villager who took me in for more information on the dragons. The villager told me that the dragons were too strong to fight against, and it always backfired. If they try to fight against them, the dragons would burn down villages and destroy crops.
To prevent attacks, we have been giving the dragons gifts of food and riches we collect.
I asked the villager if he knew anything about the gods, and he told me that all of them were gone. There must be something that the gods left behind before they left.
Rumors are the old gods used to live in temples. I only really know of one of them, though.
He gave me a map of the temple's location, and I thanked the villager for his help. On days 13 to 14, I was following the map toward the location of the temple when I heard a roar. What was that? I saw something fly over my head and then heard,
Little fire god,
I spotted another large dragon I'd never seen before.
Zotharis wants you gone from this world.
Oh no. He started to attack me with a very powerful breath. I launched my fire bolts at him and then rushed him with my sword, but he hit me away quickly. I realized I was down only a few hearts and had to escape. I spotted a small cave entrance and rushed towards it with the dragon following right behind me. But thankfully, he was too large to fit inside.
You can't hide forever.
Man, I was gonna need some serious upgrades if I wanted to stop these dragons. I searched the cave for iron and found enough to make a set of iron tools. I then used the remaining iron to craft a set of pants. This should keep me more protected. After I finished, I continued following the map. I made it to the ancient temple. I can tell that the gods used to be here. As I reached the center, Ogun appeared before me.
I told you we would meet again, Fozo.
Ogun! I asked Ogun what this place was and why he was meeting me here. Ogun told me that remnants of the old fire gods were scattered all across the world. He told me that if I was able to find them, I would increase my strength and stand a better chance against Zotharis.
You've already found one with the sword that you're carrying.
I pulled out my sword and told Ogun that it barely damaged him.
That's because you're not strong enough yet, Fozo. Find the rest of the remnants. They will make you stronger.
Ogun then disappeared. Wait, no! Ugh, man. I just need to find the remnants and I'll get stronger. You got this, Fozo. On days 17 to 18, I began a journey back towards my new home when I spotted the ice dragon. Where was he heading? I saw the village I had crash landed in and knew it must be headed there. As I arrived, he was already attacking it. Hey, stop! What are you doing?
Zotharis will reward me greatly for taking you out.
He turned his attention to me and we started to fight. He was not as powerful as the dragon I just fought, but he still packed a punch. I had better control of my abilities though, and I was able to connect a few hits on him. They seemed far more effective because of his icy skin. I then heard him yell out in pain.
Ah, how are you so much stronger?
He tried to fly out, but I couldn't let him escape. I launched another firebolt at him and took him down for good. I felt stronger and gained another 5 hearts. Nice. I also felt my wings were more powerful, and I realized that I can fly through the air now. This is amazing. The villagers, to my surprise, then began to praise me for defending them. They were really starting to come around. You know, this felt nice. I flew off towards my home. On days 19 to 20, I returned to the village and talked with Vulcan about defeating the ice dragon.
Wow, Fozo, I can't believe you actually beat the ice dragon.
That's right, Vulcan. Hope is still alive in this world. Soon, people will no longer fear the dragons. Once I find the rest of the fire god remnants, people will be able to live in peace, just like this village.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of any silly dragon with you around.
It felt good to do the duties of the fire god. I just need to make sure more people believe in me.
Sir, I've come to report that the ice dragon has been defeated.
And who did this, Alton?
It was the fire god, sir.
That is not possible.
One of the scouts has found where he's been hiding. Would you like me to take care of this?
No, I will handle this pest myself.
On days 21 to 23, I woke up to the sounds of explosions and screaming. What's going on? I rushed outside. I spotted Zotharis in the sky, calling out for me.
Where are you? puny fire god!
Oh, I'm right here. I flew into the sky and met him. You're a monster for what you've done.
You killed one of my dragons! You must die!
He started to attack me. Zothras hit me to the ground. And I destroyed more of the village from my fall. I need to draw him away. Now, I flew into the air and started to lead him away from my home.
Get back here!
He began to chase after me, and I tried to fly faster to outrun him, but he was able to catch me. He hit me with another attack, and I felt so weak. I started to fall out of the air and headed straight toward the ground. Ow, my head. Where was I? I looked around and found myself inside of a cage. I looked outside of the cage, and Zothras was standing there in front of me.
How dare you defeat one of my brethren?
You guys gave me no choice. You guys are killing all the gods. What for?
We can do whatever we want. You will pay for this, bozo!
I asked him why he hated my people so much. What did we ever do to you? Zothras told me that people never appreciated the power of dragons. He said that because of the gods, dragons were looked down upon, and he didn't like that. Then why am I still here, huh? Why not just destroy me and get it all over with? He said that would be too easy, and he wanted to destroy me in front of everyone.
Then everyone will know the power of dragons. We will be the strongest creatures in the world! Ha 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 ha!
Zothras walked off. How am I gonna get out of here? Suddenly, my cage was open and I was free? Ogun appeared before me and led me towards the exit.
You need to find the remnants if you want to end this madness.
But how do I find them, Ogun? I don't even know where to look.
You're a fire god, Fozo. You'll know where they are.
I trusted in Ogun's words and flew out of Zothras's lair. On days 27 to 29, I was flying and I felt an urge to head in a different location. What was this? I continued to fly and I came across a strange looking temple. Something was urging me to go inside. Ogun was right. I felt naturally drawn to the locations. I saw a large statue in the center with something on top of it. I made my way closer and noticed it was a piece of armor. I picked it up and it was the fire god helmet. Whoa. As I equipped it, I felt myself growing even stronger. This is one of the ancient fire god equipment. I wonder how many more of these are out there in the world. I left the temple and began to fly through the world toward my base. I heard more roars and I quickly landed. I noticed that a lot of dragons were flying around. Zothras must have alerted them that I was missing. I need to stay hidden. I traveled on foot to remain unseen. I rushed towards the village and found that it was still in ruins. Oh no, I hope everyone's okay. I looked around the village to find any survivors, but didn't see anyone. Come on, someone answer me. Vulcan and the rest of the villagers came out. Oh man, I'm so glad to see that you guys are safe.
No thanks to you, stupid. Get out of our village. You're not welcome here.
All the villagers started to yell at me, telling me to leave. What do you mean to leave? I'm trying to help you. Vulcan walked up to me and told me it was time to go. The villagers told us we can stay as long as the dragons didn't bother them. And I guess we proved that it didn't make a difference today. As we were walking, I couldn't believe that I let those villagers down, especially after making so much progress.
Cheer up, Bozo. All's not lost, right?
You're right, Vulcan. I just need to stop those dragons. We journeyed to the top of a mountain and found a nice area within it. Vulcan suggested that I build a shrine since I'm a god.
That way, all the villagers can see it and be proud of our gods again.
You know what? You're right. I need something to be a beacon of hope for everyone. I collected materials and got to work building. It was a good start, and I knew that I would eventually finish it. I gave the leftover material to Vulcan and told them to work on the village. I knew they would come around eventually. I just needed to show them I still cared. On days 33 to 35, I was flying across a jungle to see if I could sense another fire god temple anywhere. I knew that one had to be... Something hit me. Oh, what was that?
I told you, you couldn't hide forever, you pest.
It was Alton, and he was back to fight again. He rushed at me, and we engaged in combat. His claws seemed to deal less damage with my new god armor. Thank goodness. I used my fire sword against him, and can tell that I was able to wield it more effectively now.
How? You're a weak god.
We kept fighting, but I was still outmatched by him. I had no choice but to try to make a break for it. I dodged one of his attacks and hit him with a firebolt that stunned him for a second. It bought me enough time to fly away.
Something is different about him. Has he acquired more god armor? I must warn Zothras.
I made it out of the jungle and felt so exhausted and defeated. Ogun, please, I need your guidance.
Bozo, what's wrong?
I told Ogun that I was a failure. I couldn't save the villagers, and I can't even defeat the lesser dragons. Not only have I failed the villagers, but I have failed the entire world. I'm no fire god.
Everything happens for a reason.
He told me that I must stay strong and continue to grow my strength in order to defeat them.
Listen, I know you can save the world. I believe in you. But to make others believe, it has to be you that believes in yourself first.
But how? How do I do that? I need answers, Ogun. I turned around and noticed that he was gone. He was right. I have to believe in myself first. I must have the courage to continue, despite the adversity I'm faced with. Suddenly, I can sense something close by. I followed my heart and flew off, hoping it was another remnant. On days 39 to 41, I was flying through a desert when I spotted a large structure. I entered the temple. I felt drawn towards the center, and I knew that there had to be a remnant of the old fire gods here. I then saw a chest plate. This must be another piece of the armor. I rushed towards it, but before I can get there, a large golem landed in front of me and told me to prove my worth.
Only a true fire god may possess this armor.
I stated who I was and the mission that I must complete. I need to save this world from the dragons. The golem looked me in the eyes and told me that I was pure of heart before fading away. I rushed and grabbed the armor. Once I equipped it, I felt so powerful. I gained another 5 hearts and I was able to shoot fire from my hands at will. Whoa, this is sweet. I'm getting stronger by the day. I just gotta keep going.
Sir, I believe the fire god is trying to obtain all the old god's armor.
That armor will never be able to save him. He will be defeated. I promise you that.
I made my way back to base and passed by the village. Wait a minute, has it been rebuilt? It has. I returned to the mountain and asked Vulcan if he had something to do with it.
That's right, Fozo. I took all the material and went through the village, just like you said.
Wow, thanks, man. You're the best. I continued making progress on building the fire god shrine, and it was starting to come along nicely. I stepped back and looked at it with Vulcan. I asked him if he thought the other fire gods would be proud of what we're doing. Vulcan told me that they would because he was. Suddenly, a villager climbed up to where we were standing. This was the villager who had taken me in. He was very scared and panicking. I told him to calm down and explain what was going on. The villager apologized for the way they were treated and needed my help.
Another dragon has come to the village. Please help.
I immediately flew off and headed towards it. I'm not gonna let them destroy our home again. On days 45 to 47, I rushed down to the village and saw it was under attack from a large green dragon. Hey, pick on someone your own strength. I shot a firebolt at him and got his attention.
Pesky fire god, you will pay for that.
I dodged his attacks and used my new ability on him. It was clear that I was really hurting him with it. The dragon backed off and I charged at him with my sword. I was able to deal a fatal blow and I took him down. The village was safe again. I looked around as all the villagers came out of their homes. I started to leave the village, knowing they didn't want me here. But as I turned to leave, they stopped me.
No, we're sorry. We want you to stay with us. We realized that we were wrong.
The villagers apologized and told us that they wanted us to protect them. Wow, thanks guys. I accepted their offer and made them an oath that I would do everything I could to protect them. Vulcan and I walked throughout the village, and the villagers greeted us and thanked me.
Isn't this nice? Everybody appreciates you.
Yeah, you're right, Vulcan. I'm really glad that I was able to save them. I thought these people would never forgive me, especially after Zothras attacked them.
People change, Fozo. You just have to show them that they can.
Yeah, and once I've defeated Zothras and the dragons, hopefully this world will change for the better. As we continued walking, a villager not from here ran up to us. The villager told us that the dragons had become more aggressive towards all of the villages.
That's just not right. They can't do this.
I won't let the dragons have their way. Suddenly, the sky turned dark and it was nighttime. Oh no, this can't be right. It was just day a second ago. I flew up in the sky and saw a dragon towering over a nearby town. This must be his doing. On days 51 to 53, I motioned for the villagers to enter their homes and then confronted him. Leave this town right now.
Fire God, what are you doing here?
I can tell tell that this dragon was nervous, and I began to attack him. The dragon tried to fight back, but he seemed scared. What, are you afraid of me or something? I continued to attack him, and as he was getting weak, he flew off. Ah, come on. I launched a fireball at him, but it missed. The villagers then came out and started to cheer for me.
Yeah, he's like back and stuff. It's good.
It seemed like everyone was starting to come around to my presence. I helped the villagers rebuild before heading home. On days 54 to 56, as I made my way back to base, I decided to make some more progress on my fire statue. It was almost finished. I was so proud of my work.
Great work, Fozo!
The statue was big enough for people to see now. The villagers started to gather and look at the shrine. I was confused as to what was going on. They told me that they saw the shrine and were drawn to it. They felt safe around it. I told them that this shrine would be a beacon of hope to let the world know that the fire god is here to protect the inside. The villagers felt inspired from this, and one of them told me that they would spread my name to give other villages hope like them. I told him that I appreciated this and offered to build them houses to stay at my village.
Yes, soon, Fozo, your end will come.
On days 57 to 59, I flew out of the village to locate more of the armor pieces. I began to search all over the world until I felt something. Well, this must be it. I saw a large temple in the distance and flew towards it. Something felt different about this place. What was going on here? As I made my way inside, a group of lesser dragons started to swarm and attack me. I dispersed them with the flames I shot out of my hands and took a bunch of them down. They were weak, but persistent. I took out my sword, though, and continued to fight against them. I was able to take the last one down for good. Whew, that was close. Now, let's get this remnant. Wait, what? I saw the pedestal in the center, and it was empty. Where did it go? Someone must have taken it before I arrived. The dragons. They must be on to my plans. Oh, no. As I was flying back to base, I noticed a knight was waving me down, and the knight told me that the moon dragon had attacked his kingdom. Oh no. I told him not to worry and quickly flew off. It was about time I settled score with that dragon. When I got closer to the castle, I can see the smoke. I rush inside, only to find that the dragons had been defeated. Where was the moon dragon?
So, you're the fire god that people have been talking about.
I turned around and saw a king who introduced himself as King Himothy and explained that he and the other knights were able to defeat the lesser dragons. But he said that the moon dragon would always return.
He is capturing more and more of my knights. I'm afraid we won't last much longer.
No worries, your highness. I'll bring your knights back home in no time. On days 63 to 65, I found myself at a camp that was filled with knights in cages. There was no sign of the moon dragon, so I took the time to free the knights and tell them to head back toward their kingdom.
Thank you, Fire God. You truly are an inspiration.
As I was freeing the final knights, I heard something land behind me. I turned to see the moon dragon was there. Come to face me finally, huh? The dragon didn't say anything, but charged at me and hit me with a powerful attack.
It is you who won't make it out of this fight.
We continued to fight, and the battle took a lot of energy out of us. Eventually, I was able to take him down with my fire abilities. I returned to the kingdom. The king was very grateful for my actions and gave me some golden apples. Oh, thanks.
I also believe one of the dragons took something of yours.
He told me that the moon dragon had mentioned during his attack that the fire god wasn't gonna last much longer. Oh, really? We'll see about that. On days 66 to 68, I was returning to my base when I spotted Alton perched on a mountain.
Looking for something?
He dropped a pair of fire god pants right in front of me. That's where they went. Hey, those are mine! Give them to me! He flew off, and I followed after him. Alton finally stopped and landed on the ground. I know you have something that belongs to me, Alton.
You're going to have to go through me if you want it.
Fine, but you asked for it. Alton charged at me. I dodged his charge and shot him with a fireball. I knew it dealt damage because I could tell he was furious. Alton used his solar breath on me, but it did little to no damage. Give me the remnant and you can leave.
you dare look down on me?
Alton tried to knock me back, but I flew up to the sky. Using my sword, I flew down and slashed him, delivering the final blow. I collected the God Pants and gained 5 more hearts. Only 1 more remnant left. I flew off and continued on my way back to base. On days 69 to 71, I arrived and I started to talk with Vulcan. I told him about all the dragons I defeated.
One step closer to defeating Zortharis. And you're close to completing your armor, too.
You've always supported me, Vulcan. Thank you for always keeping me strong.
You give me and everyone else here hope. Now get a move on it if you want to take him down.
Thanks, Vulcan. I appreciate that. I flew off to find the final remnant. As I flew around the world, I felt a pull. I kept following it, but realized that I was going in circles. What was going on? Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice.
You know where to find me.
It was Ogun. Where do I find him? Oh, I think I know where he wants me to go.
Alton has been slain!
Impossible! The last of my core dragons! Pathetic! I know what I must do!
I made it to the location of the final remnant, the floating fire temple where it all started. Home. I stood there for a moment to look at what was left. What was once a peaceful place has now become this, all because of jealousy. I was frustrated at first, but I collected myself and made my way inside the temple. I made it to where my home was and found Ogun there waiting for me.
Welcome home, Fozo.
Why am I here, Ogun? I don't see the final remnant around.
You no longer need me now. The remnant has always been inside you.
Inside of me? And of course I need you. You can't leave me now. How will I know what I'm supposed to do?
When the time comes, you'll know how to obtain it. Goodbye, Fozo, and good luck.
As Ogun disappeared, I couldn't help but feel like I lost a father. He had always guided me through everything, and now he was gone. I exited the temple. Rest peacefully, Ogun. I won't let you down.
Where is the fire god?
Leave this village alone!
Ah, the fire god's friend! You're coming with me!
Uh-oh.
I arrived back at the village, but it looked like it had been attacked. What happened?
Zortharis, attack us again! Man, we just rebuilt! This is ridiculous!
He told me it wasn't even the worst part. He had taken Vulcan with him. I asked the villager if he knew where he would take him. The villager told me he called out for you to meet him where he could finally display your demise to the other dragons. I think I have an idea of where he might have taken him. I told the villagers to stay safe and flew off. On days 78 to 80, I arrived at a large arena and flew inside. I saw lesser dragons gathering around the outside of it. Clearly, Zortharis wanted to display our fight to everyone. In the center, Zortharis was waiting for me. Where is Vulcan? You better not hurt him. Zortharis had Vulcan brought out by 2 of the lesser dragons.
He and no more of the other villagers will be harmed once you are gone.
Don't worry about me, Fozo! You can't give up!
I looked at my lava friend and prepared to fight. I had a sudden change of heart, though. Okay, you have a deal.
No! Wait!
Zortharis blasted me with the most powerful attack he had ever used.
Ah!
Finally, the fire god is defeated at last.
Fozo! He's gone! The world is doomed.
Oh, young fire god.
Ogun, is that you? What is this place?
This is the afterlife.
I can't believe it. I failed. Not only myself, but the entire world. I really thought that I could do it too.
It isn't too late, Fozo. You've grown to be the strongest fire god yet, and the world is counting on you. Channel all of your inner power, and with it, return to the overworld. You can save everyone.
Wait, Ogun! No, I can still save everyone? But how? Okay, Fozo, breathe. I have to try.
Fozo! I thought you were gone!
What? I'm back! I did it! I still have time to save the world! Come on, Vulcan, let's get back to base and finish this once and for all.
The fire god is no more. We have won. Go and conquer the world.
On days 86 to 90, we returned back to base, and the villagers were in awe of my completed set of armor. This seemed like the best time to complete my fire statue. I got to work completing it, with Vulcan's help, of course. As we completed the statue, all the villagers gathered and looked at it. They told me that they believed fully in the fire god.
You have restored our faith. Thank you for everything that you have done.
Suddenly, there was word that one of the kingdoms was under attack from the lesser dragons. I flew off. When I arrived, I saw that it was under attack. The dragons were shocked and stunned in fear by the sight of me.
You can't be back! You were destroyed!
Well, go tell them that I'm back. The dragons flew off in a hurry. I turned and saw the king was standing there.
Rumors of your death had spread across the land.
Don't worry, your highness. I'm not going anywhere. But listen, everyone needs to prepare for battle, okay? This is gonna turn into an all-out war. He agreed, and I flew off to warn the other villages. On days 91 and 94, I flew across the world, stopping at villages to tell them what was going on. I landed at one and began to spread the word that we were all going to fight back against the dragons. The villagers were inspired by my words and took my arms to join in the uprising. I flew off. I told the other villagers to travel and spread the word as well. Everyone in the world was beginning to join us. And just like that, people seemed ready for the final battle. I headed home to my village.
We're here for you, Fozo. We'll be right by your side.
Thanks, Vulcan. You've been a great friend. Now let's finish this.
Sir, the fire god, he's alive!
Impossible! Prepare for a fight!
On days 95 to 99, we can hear roars in the distance as the dragons began to travel towards our base. This is it, everyone. Now is when we restore the balance to the world. No more villagers will have to live in fear. The villagers began to cheer.
This ends now! Attack!
The dragons arrived at the village and began a fight with me and the others. The dragons were not expecting this much resistance. I used all my abilities and was taking dragons down with ease. I looked over and saw Vulcan was being attacked by a group of them.
Little help over here, buddy.
I went over to help him and started taking the dragons down. He thanked me for the help. After some time, most of the dragons realized that they were outmatched by me and started to fly off. Yes!
Come back, you cowards!
It was just Zothras left in the village, and he too fled. Hey, where do you think you're going? I flew off after him. It was day 100, and I was chasing Zothras through the air. Come back here! It does not need to be this way. You still have time to change who you are.
I will never stop until I rid the world of you!
Then you leave me no choice. I used my fireball and hit him out of the air, causing him to crash land. I guess this is the end for you, Zothras. He charged at me, but I was far more powerful than I'd ever been.
You stupid god!
It is not me who chose to destroy this world. You have caused nothing but pain and suffering for so many. I used my abilities on him, greatly weakening him. I will give you one last chance to stop the fighting.
Never!
Fine, Zothras. I took out my fire sword and struck him down. The world was finally able to live at peace.